craving a creamy pumpkin soup that's 100% gluten-free and vegan, topped with homemade croutons, but with zero cream and oil? This cozy bowl tastes insanely delicious. Ready in under 30 minutes for your family dinner. First, we need to cut the pumpkin. That's probably the hardest part of the whole recipe. Some pumpkins can be really tough, but with a bit of strength and a gentle touch, we'll manage just fine. Then we just scoop out the pumpkin with a big spoon and start cutting it up. I usually slice it into long, narrow strips first. That way it's much easier to peel, either with a sharp knife or a vegetable peeler. Once that's done, I cut the pumpkin into smaller pieces. Just be careful while you're cutting, because the surface can get a little slippery. Taking it slow really helps here. The main work is already done. Now we put the pumpkin pieces into the pot and add enough water to cover them by a few centimeters. Then a bit of salt. I like to set the pot on the stove right away so it can start heating up. That saves a little time. I have a little request for you before we wrap up. Could you like and hype this video right now? It helps my channel so much by getting YouTube to show my recipe to way more people. Once we've peeled and chopped the onions and garlic, they go straight into the pot. The same goes for the potatoes, of course. If you happen to have some leftovers cooked potatoes like I do today, just wait and add them later, once the pumpkin is completely soft. Here's a little trick to peel cooked potatoes really quickly. Just use a knife with a serrated edge. That way you can basically slide the skin right off. Well, peel isn't really the right word. It's more like gently pushing the skin over the potato while applying a bit of pressure. I usually start with a small cut. It makes things so much easier than trying to pull off that super thin skin directly. Just watch how I'm doing it here. Once you get the hang of this trick, it saves you so much time in the kitchen. Okay, let's move on. We're making our crispy croutons now. I think they taste especially good straight out of the oven, so I usually make them fresh. My kids, however, totally disagree. If there are any leftovers, they snack on them in no time, just like that. Since I don't just cook gluten-free, but also corn-free and soy-free, I prefer to bake our bread myself. Most store-bought ones contain cornstarch or other additives like preservatives and flavor enhancers. That's why I always slice my homemade bread and freeze it in individual pieces. And here's what that looks like. I just pop the frozen slices into the air fryer on the defrost setting first. In a few minutes they are defrosted and ready to use. The croutons are really quick to make, and of course you can use store-bought bread as well. I just cut the slices into small cubes and preheat the oven to 120 degrees Celsius, about 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Then I spread the bread cubes on a baking tray lined with parchment paper. Add a bit of olive oil and salt to taste. You want the croutons to get really nice and crispy, but not too dark, so it's better to bake them at a lower temperature for a bit longer. Once they're crispy enough, you can let them cool down in the open oven and only transfer them to a bowl shortly before serving. That way they stay beautifully crunchy for as long as possible. The pumpkin is now completely soft, as you can see, so it's ready to blend. Today I'm using an immersion blender, but you can also puree the soup in a high-speed blender if you prefer. I actually do that quite often, but I always make sure the soup has cooled down a bit first. Otherwise, blending it in a big blender jar just feels a bit too risky for me. So, we did it! This is our finished super creamy vegan oil-free pumpkin soup. It still amazes me that this soup is made without any added fats at all, not even a vegan cream or any plant milk. It just tastes absolutely fantastic all on its own. And of course, the croutons are the real highlight for the kids. During pumpkin season, we have this soup on the table at least twice a week, and nobody ever gets tired of it. If you enjoyed this recipe, you definitely will like this one right here too. Subscribe to my channel with just one click, and let's cook gluten-free, vegan and corn-free together. See you in the next video. Bye bye!